What's going on? Is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Hey, listen, I don't want to hear nothing else from no interviewer that get Kamala Harris on a platform and then get finessed. All of these content creators that's allowing them on her platform or allowing her on a platform, they being finessed. You know, I seen Dave Ramsey say that he put out a call to both Kamala Harris and to Donald Trump. Now, Dave Ramsey is a much bigger podcaster and has a much bigger platform, and it does crazy more views, has a much bigger reach than All the Smoke. Respectfully, now that doesn't mean that All of the Smoke is not the shit, because All of the Smoke got over 1 million subscribers, they worked their way up, and they have a audience. So this is not smoke for them, all right? I want to preface this by saying that. But Dave Ramsey has a much bigger platform than All the Smoke. Dave Ramsey openly said, hey, listen, I put out a call to both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris because I wanted to ask them both questions about the economy and basically pose the same questions to both of them, right? He said that Donald Trump was like, all right, pull up. You can ask whatever it is that you want to ask. You ain't got to have no script. You can get it popping. Kamala Harris said, we'll consider it. We'll consider it. That's what he said that they said. Now, fast forward today, right? All of the Smoke drops an interview with Kamala Harris, right? And isn't it funny? Because if you go through and you look at the chapters, because they did a good job in making sure that they structured it to where, you know, they got the timestamps in there, you know exactly what's happening. So you don't have to scrub through the whole interview in order to see what she's saying, right? I do all of that. I do that for the Millionaire Morning Show. I make sure I put the timestamps in. It's a much easier way for people to find what they're looking for. And if you look at it, the entire interview is fluff. When J.D. Vance and Donald Trump pull up somewhere, it is what it is. When Kamala Harris goes somewhere, it's scripted as hell. It's like an advertisement. It's not an interview. It's not for you to actually find out what she has to say. It's for you to hear what her message is. Now, I will give her team some credit and say that they are very smart with regard to that, because they know that this woman has no substance to her. And so in order for her to not look foolish or look any crazier than she already looks, they got to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, they have it scripted. They got to be very calculated and very planned so that they don't find themselves in a negative disposition or in a difficult situation. But how are the podcasters not catching this? You know what I'm saying? How are they not able to decipher between getting finessed and being used as a billboard versus actually asking some pertinent conversations? Now, it's a difference between being entertaining and being informative, right? Because this is a situation where we're being informative, and I don't think that people understand the difference between the two. Being entertaining is, okay, listen, it's all fun and games. We talking about relationship and BS or whatever, and you can put some medicine inside of the candy, cool. But being informed is pushing an agenda, right? Meaning that this election is something different. This just ain't about views. And it don't mean that you can't benefit from it too, right? Two things can be true at the same time. You can be informative while at the same time running up the views and getting a lot of visibility and all of that. But this is a different situation because I can't just let somebody jump on my platform when it's something this important, such as an election in 2024, and just spew a narrative and let that be the end of the conversation. That can't be it. If I can't ask the questions that I want to ask, and that's even on some entertainment stuff. Like, my goal as a person that interviews, whether I'm doing street interviews or if I have somebody on my platform, my goal is to get them to open up and say everything that's on their mind, and to really get the authentic them, so that the audience can then make an informed decision of whether or not they want to rock or they agree with them or anything like that. My goal is not to push an agenda. I have my own time, my own platform, and my own opinion to be able to let you guys know what I think. But I'm not here when I have somebody else on a platform to allow for them, You know what I'm saying? Especially when we talking about something as important as an election, to push an agenda. And when you look at these interviews, whether it's CNN or that Philadelphia local TV station, or All the Smoke, or any of these other podcasts, now that we almost a little over a month before election day, right? And when you see these podcasts and these people that's getting absolutely, finessed, and that they basically leveraging their audience in order to push an agenda, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now I will say that if you are a person that is a Kamala Harris supporter, then that may be even different. And so maybe we need to separate the people that's subjective enough to be able to do an interview, based off of not pushing an agenda, versus the people that is just a flat out Kamala Harris supporter, and so they just using a platform to maybe get some more visibility to say, yep, I interviewed the Vice President of the United States of America during election season. And the difference between them and the people that really want to get the information so they can inform the people. Even when I do street interviews, if you notice, I just did a street interview. It was popping. It was lit. If you notice on that street interview, I didn't push my opinion on nobody at all. I didn't, if they asked, or if I seen somebody that was a fellow supporter that thought the way that I thought, then I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, me too. Me and you see things the same way. If it was somebody that had a completely different opinion than me and they said, oh man, I'm voting for Kamala Harris, and I was like, oh, okay, well, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? I just asked more questions, and I asked the same type of questions to the people that were Trump supporters. And I just wanted to know who was doing what, but I wanted people to feel comfortable enough to share what they were really thinking. I don't push my agenda or my narrative on people publicly. I then have my own individual solo live streams, like this one right now, this video right now, to tell you where I stand on certain issues, and then we go from there. But all of that other stuff is silly. And these content creators, they might as well be paid to do it and not just get the interview itself. They might as well be paid to do it. If you're going to be starstruck and you can't ask the pertinent questions, if all we going to get is more of what we've already gotten, then what's the point? Other than it just being entertainment. And if it's just for entertainment and it's not something that's meaningful, then so be it. So be it. I'm looking forward to Dave Ramsey's interview with Trump, because I know that Dave Ramsey is going to actually ask the questions that's important to his viewers. Probably financial, probably with related to fixing the economy, inflation, all of those things. At the very least, I know that he's going to ask the questions, and it's going to be unfiltered, and it's not going to be censored, and it probably won't even be edited to the point to where you can't tell that it's flipping between stuff that he didn't want to say or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you just got to respect the game. You got to respect the content creators, and you got to respect the people that's really about their life. That's my opinion anyways. But I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And come and get your tickets and come kick it with me in Atlanta and Detroit for the first couple of shows. With Let's Rant About It with me and my friends. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got to run over here and take care of some business real quick. But I just wanted to tap in with y'all on my way to do so and share my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments, man. Do you think that these content creators are being used? And what gain do they get outside of more visibility? And is it worth it? Is it worth it to get used if the agenda that you're pushing is bad for the people, or maybe they just ignorant and they just don't understand how much they're being used and why it's going to be bad for them? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace, man.